Hey guys, PixPlays here, and yeah, so yesterday I released a video in which I explained why I thought that the leaks might be wrong or sort of wrong for the final starter evolutions based on what we got for the middle stage evolutions, and I got a lot of hate on that video in the comment section. And people were telling me things that I'd forgot to mention, and there were things that I knew and took into account in the video. I just didn't specifically say in the video because the video is more of a bias towards the side that they are different rather than being like a sort of in-between video. And this is going to be an in-between video. Yeah, and I had like, I didn't want to make the video too long last time, so I cut a lot of information out from the like dialogue or like recording or whatever. And I had mentioned a lot of stuff in previous videos, like the potential that starters have 2 final evolutions, so I didn't want to repeat myself on that. But today I'm going to go over like the amount of the chance that the starter evolutions are real, what could make them real, what could make them fake, and correcting a few things I said last video. So this will hopefully not be too bad. Anyways, so yeah, first off, the 4 legs thing. So there were obvious so what basically, okay, if you're watching this video, you may be confused. Basically I said that if 2 Pokemon in the starters like evolution line have a pattern of legs, usually the last evolution follows. So for example, Mudkip is on 4 legs, then Marshtomp is on 2 legs, and then Swampert just goes back to 4 legs and it becomes the majority out of the 3. Now there was a very obvious exception to this, which nobody pointed out, which was Serperior, who doesn't really even have any legs. But nobody pointed that out for some reason. People were saying Samurott was an exception because it goes from Oshawott 2 legs to Dewott 2 legs, and then Samurott 4 legs, and that is true. However, Samurott goes on both 4 legs and 2 legs as seen in the anime a lot, so it still checks out. However, Serperior is a definite exception. I can't like pretend to lie about that because Serperior doesn't even seem to have any legs, and that's definitely gonna totally destroy it, or at least make it less credible. And then the stuff about the Chinese leaker. So a lot of people were saying that the leaks were from the Chinese Riddler, who's been getting everything right so far. I think I couldn't really find confirmation on this. I think it's just from a random Chinese leaker. It could have been the Riddler. The Riddler is like the most credible source, but the Riddler usually keeps all of his leaks together in one place, and this was like aside from all his previous like information. So I don't know, or it could be a she. I don't know who the Chinese Riddler is, but it seems like this information wasn't directly from the Chinese Riddler, which makes it slightly less plausible to be true, or less like you can't just assume it to be true anymore. But yeah, okay, and also the colors thing that I mentioned, I got a lot of hate for that. I still stand by it. A lot of people use Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard as an example, how it reverts back to the original color scheme, but like the shades of orange aren't very different in Charmander and Charmeleon. Like they're very similar, whereas the difference between like the browns in the Rowlet and the Rowlet second evolution are quite significant. And what I'm going from that is that the last evolution, if it was designed by someone, it was designed by them only having Rowlet and not knowing what the second evolution is. So they kind of just guessed, like they assumed that it would keep the same color scheme, which would make them less credible. If you guys know what I mean. But anyways, let's go one by one through the starters and let's see how credible they are-ish. So first off, we have Dartrix and his supposed Archer form evolution. So a lot of you were saying it has dart in the name, so that means it's gonna become an archer or like a dart thrower. And except the dart most likely refers to him being like the Blade Quill Pokemon, and he shoots out feathers and controls where they go. However, this still checks out with the last evolution, so this is like a neutral side because dart could work in favor or just be kind of neutral. But Dartrix could also come from Dark, the Dar from that, because of his like darker color, the brown, and him being kind of emo, or them supposing that he's kind of emo. And tricks could come from generatrix, which is a geometric line or point or surface. And the website, the Pokemon website, specifically says that it shoots the blade quills in simple straight lines. So that could be a reference to the generatrix being geometric straight lines. And I think that would, I mean, it could just be dart, but then where would the Ricks come from? That's what I'm suggesting. But this is a solution in which both of the answers kind of make sense, although that could still lead it to becoming an archer in the future. Just don't straight off the bat assume that the dart is from like throwing darts. And also its hair seems to be like the beginning of a hood, which does check out with the last evolution form, and it has like a similar wing pattern with the blades inside, so that does work out. The colors, I'm still gonna stand by being a little bit odd and a little bit contrasting, but it doesn't really influence that much. So overall, I'd say there's about a 50% chance of Dartrix evolving into this exact evolution or something very close to it. So it's kind of 50-50 because of the a few things that made a lot of sense, but a few things that were kind of iffy at the same time. For Torracat, this is where the leg thing came in, because he goes 4-4, and then they're saying that he's going to go 2, so that doesn't 100% check out, although it could be true. However, the pattern throughout his head and like arms and feet does look like it is pretty similar. However, that was just the same basically for Litten, so that like makes sense as well. And the belt, or the bell, sorry, not the bell. The bell is present on like its on Torracat's collar and the final form's belt, so those kind of look similar and make sense. And they both use these bells to attack, to summon like fire type moves, so that also works. And they, on the official Pokemon website, it said that Torracat does have strong forelegs that can turn into strong, that could, by evolving, turn into strong hands, because they're forelegs, they're not back legs. It specifically mentions that. So here, more stuff does check out, so I'd say there's about an 85% chance of Litten evolving into this exact thing or something that looks very similar. Alright, and finally, Brione, its antennas kind of go missing in its last evolution. It kind of looks like they're just there and then they just disappear. Maybe it's just like a middle stage thing. The color scheme is completely inversed, but that could still work. I think that's intentional. Its eyes, though, like Popplio and Brione's eyes work, and then it just completely shifts in the last evolution, but it has done that before, so it's not like too different. It just seems a little bit, you know, even the colors switch, so I don't know, that just seemed a little bit weird to me. If it had kept like the black eyes, it would like have made more sense to me. But however, the tail plus like the fin and the hands do look very similar, so that does definitely check out. For this, I'd say like a 65 to 70% chance of them of this being legit. So I'm quickly gonna calculate, bring out the calculator, man. I should have done this before, but GG. That means that there's an estimated 66.6 repeating chance of these leaks being real by my quote-unquote calculations. Not really calculations at all, just estimates. But yeah, I think that is my thoughts on this, and sorry that I was more biased towards the other end in the last video. However, these, as many have pointed out, could be the moon evolutions because of their more dark themes, and who knows, maybe that will be the way it plays out, and Sun will have different evolutions. I don't know. Anyways, the name is PixPlays. I hope you guys enjoyed. Smash the like button if you did, and sorry about the lower quality last video, less research. I put a lot more research into this one, and if you are new, I'd really appreciate you subscribing. You don't have to, obviously. And we hit 17K, almost at the 20K, baby.